Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice, where we listen to you and review the songs that you recommended the most. I want to give a big shout out to our subscriber Sonic Immersion, who suggested that I check out Interstate Love Song by Stone Temple Pilots. And I also want to shout out to all of you who upvoted that suggestion. Because of y'all, we're going to be listening to some more Scott Weiland today. Let's get to it. That was a fascinating intro. Totally unexpected. Silent film. I think that was Charlie Chaplin? ? I think so. Obviously, fight between a guy and a girl. And I think that this is essentially bearing some context into the lyrics of the song, which are, they were written essentially about when Scott was in Atlanta doing a record there, and he'd promised his fiance at the time, Janina, that he would stay off of drugs. And when he checked in with her, he said that everything was good and everything was fine, but really he was back to using. So it seems like in this situation, the woman found out that the man was lying. And I think that's the context they were going for. I'm guessing that the radio and record version probably didn't include that silent film music underneath it. Such an interesting transition. Whoa. Oh my goodness. The way that they're interweaving that bit from a silent film here is, it's blowing my mind. I can't tell if this is actually from a silent film or they recreated something like a silent film to make this happen. Did somebody else dress up like Charlie Chaplin to give that impression? I think that that's what happened. But whoa, what a fantastic and mind-boggling way to bring those two together. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. The play with color is incredible too. The writing of this is really good. The way that he'll sing a couple of longer lines and then just hang out on a word right afterwards and actually takes it out of what would be a normal sort of square phrase production. I'm going to go back and see if I can explain that a little bit better.
Feeling like a hand on rusted chain. So do you laugh or does it cry? Reply.
Okay, so essentially what I mean by less square phrase production is the way that they put in a 2/4 measure in here. Most of the time we're hanging out in 4/4 time, but when you have the words your lies and reply, there's a little inserted measure of 2/4, and that it makes it get shifted. So we feel like there is maybe something that was waiting or something that was expected that didn't happen. I'll count it out for you.
Like a hand on
Whoops,
rusted
just go back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That kind of extra insert or even cutoff of 2 beats of time, it is jarring and it draws a lot of attention to the lyrics there. Really cool. Let's talk a little bit about Scott Weiland's voice and the entire grunge movement and vocal technique that goes along with it. And it's been really fascinating for me to get to explore grunge through your suggestions on the channel. And one of the main things that I hear is a lot of focus in the sound, really more through the nasal passages. So it's bringing more nasality into the tone, which can be considered by some people as not as beautiful quotations, right? That's a very subjective thing. And essentially, if you're going to have more nasality, that means your soft palate is lower in the back so that the sound can travel through your nose and exit through your nose instead of just exiting through your mouth. That's part of the reason why it also seems to have twang sometimes, and grunge has a little more twang in it. I definitely hear a certain Southern feel. I think the Southern feel is more present also in Stone Temple Pilots than some of the other grunge bands I've heard. So I'm just catching that a little, like a teensy bit more from them, though all grunge bands have that twang. I should say all grunge vocalists have that twang in common that I've heard so far. Beyond that, there also doesn't tend to be a ton of mouth opening, and that's partly because if the mouth is much more open, it's more likely the sound is going to be exiting through the mouth and not through the nose, right? Which would be counteractive to having that twang and more nasal resonance happening. There's some more to say there, but I'll just go back and we can listen to the twang for now. Especially there, lots of twang. One of the things that I remarked on about Stone Temple Pilots before was also that they seem to have a really good hook in the instruments. It's catchy. It makes you, it plays back in my head over and over. And the way that they repeat it in here actually makes it more sticky, meaning that it's going to repeat in your head extra. It's there. I keep hearing it play and loop over and over. It's good writing.
Breathing
Ooh.
is the hardest thing to do. With all I said, will understand for you. You lied.
I love the return of this phrase structure again when you get that extra 2 beats. Also, the nose has grown bigger, and I think that this is in reference to Pinocchio, meaning that his lies are making his nose continue to grow more. This is such a good song to see the music video with. Sometimes I like to see live performances to see what's happening, and really see all of the ways that the singer is executing these sounds, or if you can do one takes in recording studio, that's amazing for me to get to see and analyze. But in this case, having the context and the way they wanted to present that in a visual format as well is really, really rewarding.
Breathing is the hardest thing to do. With all I said, will understand for you. You lied. Goodbye.
Ooh, that was interesting. So you had the little break, and then there was a full 4/4 measure, I think, in there as well of it. Ooh, cool design again.
You lied. Goodbye.
Yeah, that was really cool. I like that construction.
Leaving on a southern train only yesterday. You lied. Promises to what I seem to be only wash the time go by. All of these things I said to you.
I want to talk a little more about Scott's voice and sort of this pleasing different aspects that I find in it. He's got that twang focus that's happening. He also has a little bit of grit in his normal sound. It feels like the sound is just a little bit dirty essentially at all times. Just a tiny bit of distortion that's hanging out on it, but really clear pitch. And then additionally, it sounds like he's got a little more depth in the sound as well. The voice is hanging out, I think, a little bit lower than a few of the other singers, a little, I think, closer to Eddie Vedder's. And I hear essentially a little more, possibly just a genetic, more space in the back of the vocal tract to have a little more warmth and openness in the sound, which really then combines with the twang to have a contrast in timbres. I think that's a really cool and engaging sound to hear and think about and try to break down. I'm going to go back a little bit. See if you can notice the way that he has depth in there along with this extreme twang. Such a good hook. No. Is this the end? No. It's too short. We're going to go back and listen to that one more time because it is too short. I wish that this song were twice as long as it is. really dig this music video and the way that this intro silent film style shows us the conflict in the relationship right from the beginning, and we get to follow it throughout. It has a woven storyline in addition to just getting to see the band play and sing. And that made the experience of listening to the song for the first time so much more complete and deep for me. So thank you to all of you for that suggestion. This was a fantastic, fantastic song to get to review. And I'm so glad that we got to come back around to Scott Weiland. His ability to have lots of different layers of timbre contained in his sound is fascinating and delightful to analyze. If you would like to go back to that first time that I analyzed Stone Temple Pilots, you can check that out over here. And I hope to see you again in another video soon.